What's up, everybody? In this video we're going to talk about something that I haven't been excited about in a really long time, and that's this, the new GoPro Hero7 Black. Now, it's been a very long time since I've been excited about a release from GoPro, largely in part because I thought GoPros just kind of fell short. The original GoPro was great because we were able to capture footage in places we couldn't before, but the later renditions of the GoPro, to me, just fell short of the mark of what I needed when I was trying to capture the type of footage that I would use a GoPro camera for. But before we dive into it, I think we need to do something. Well, that didn't work. I'm still in the Garmin Ultra 30. Let's try this. Okay, that's better. Now we're filming on the new GoPro Hero 7 Black, and we're going to go ahead and give a quick review of what we think. But before we dive into that, I want to talk a little bit about what sets the GoPro Hero 7 apart from other action cameras like this, which is what I've been shooting with for quite a while now, and that's the Garmin Virb Ultra 30. Actually, I've been shooting with it for exactly 1 year. Well, you probably have already seen a ton of reviews on the new GoPro Hero 7 Black by professional YouTubers like Casey Neistat. Now, these guys produce exceptional quality content. Most of us aren't able to do that. Most of us, quite frankly, don't have the time to invest in being professional creators. Most of us are just average users, average Joes, much like myself. We want to be able to take our action camera straight out of the box, record the content that we want in the best possible footage without having to spend hours in post-production.
So I'm a big action sports guy. What you're not going to see in my videos is me jumping out of an airplane. Largely because I don't really see a good reason to jump out of a perfectly good airplane. You won't see me jumping over rows of flaming buses on a dirt bike. You won't see me wrestling an anaconda or riding a great white shark across the ocean. But what I do need is a camera that can handle the abuse of what I do.
So the question is, can this camera produce results that will give us that? Can we do it without external microphones? Can we do it without color grading? Are we able to 98% of the time grab this camera and go? Well, let's find out.
Dug a silver ring, and now I just dug my first Spanish silver. 1789, 1 real.
Ready to get on the low-key Doug way. I'm going to do a little side-by-side test here of the Garmin Ultra 30 and the GoPro Hero 7. One has hyper stabilization, the Hypersmooth, the new stabilization. The other one is completely unstabilized. Got something on the lens right there. They're both recording at 2.7K, 60 frames per second. One is stabilized, one doesn't offer. So the Garmin doesn't offer any stabilization in this setting, and we are set to the wide landscape. So I wanted to see how the audio was on both to compare the difference. I do have the Garmin inside its waterproof housing because that's the only way it would compare to the GoPro, which is also in its natural waterproof housing the way it comes. So this is to compare the two. So I'm just walking up the hill. Now we're going to turn the camera the other way and walk up and down the hill. Hush! Do a little basic walking down the hill. Now I'm going to run up the same spot and back down. A little slight jog, just to see how it looks. Jogging. And I'm going to pan left to right, or right to left.
just to compare the footage between the two cameras. One of the new features I want to check out in the new GoPro Hero7 Black is Hyperlapse. Hyperlapse is sort of like an advanced time-lapse photography. If you've ever seen the time-lapse of a sunset, it's usually done with a series of photos that stitch together to give the illusion of motion. Hyperlapse is something that's going to be done in the camera. That's pretty amazing, because to perform hyperlapse type effects before, the effect of moving through time really quickly, you would have to spend hours in post getting that timing just right so that you would get the same effect. Now, I really want to try that out, but I'm not sure that my driveway is the right place. So I think we need to go somewhere and try it out. This looks a lot better. I think now we can probably try to shoot that hyperlapse. Let's go. We just finished shooting that short little hyperlapse, and hyperlapses are really cool, and usually you have to do those in post-production, and it's a really complicated process. It's one that I've not really done a lot with because it is time consuming to bring your footage in, get your footage edited up the way you want it, and then try to get a smooth, stable time lapse. So that's a really cool feature. I'm kind of excited to see how that plays out. But as we start moving back here and walking back towards the truck, I want to talk to you a little bit about filming in 4K and why you should be. There's a lot of benefits to filming in 4K. In fact, there's 3 really big benefits. The first benefit is, by filming in 4K, you're able to crop in much tighter and maintain resolution. Well, what that allows you to do, let's say you have something unwanted or distracting in the background, you don't have to kill the footage because you don't have enough room to crop it. Another big benefit to filming in higher resolutions such as 4K is you're able to crop in much tighter. And by being able to crop in much tighter but retain the resolution, that allows you to give the appearance of filming with multiple camera angles. A lot of people say, well, why shoot at anything higher than 1080p? Because social media and YouTube only allow, really only have 1080p or Super HD content, and most of it is 1080p, and a lot of times, depending on what internet connection they have, they may drop your footage down to 720 or whatever they want to view it at. While that's true, it's about compression. And what I mean by that is, if you film in 4K, when you're shooting 4K at 60 frames per second, well, the first thing is when you're shooting at 60 frames per second, you have the ability to stop things for slow motion. So if you want to do slow motion, you can maintain high resolution video in a slow-mo. The second thing that's important with compression is when you're done with your project and you edit it, and you edit your project and you post it, you're exporting it at 1080p. So when you upload it, you're uploading an already compressed file. Well, if you shot at 4K and you compress down to 1080p, you're going to have a cleaner, better quality image being exported. And then when it's put into YouTube, it's going to be even further compressed. So the end result is cleaner, crisper, better video. That's the benefits of shooting in 4K or 2.7K. The downside to filming in those higher resolutions is you're going to eat up a lot of card space, and you're going to go through battery a lot more. If you're shooting at 2.7K, you're 2.5 times the frames required when you shoot 1080p at 24 frames. If you want a cinematic look, you need to shoot at 24 frames. But most of the stuff that you're filming with an action camera probably isn't cinematic. It's probably more real-life action. It's the kind of stuff that you want to be able to ramp up or ramp down in speed. So 60 frames per second is a great way to do that. Okay, now for this test, I've actually got the Garmin Ultra 30 out of its waterproof housing, and it is sitting on a Evo SS gimbal. So it's actually set on a gimbal, and I have the GoPro Hero7 Black
with its Hypersmooth on. They're both in the exact same mode still. And basically I'm going to do pretty much the same tests we did in the last shot, where I'm simply going to walk up the hill, walk back down the hill, pan right to left, and then I'm going to jog slightly back up the hill. Okay, for this test, we're going to just walk up and down the hill and record with both cameras. I'm trying to just basically hold them still and straight. I'm not doing anything special. I'm simply walking, just like I did in the last test. And I will go back and forth between the audio between the Garmin and the GoPro, so you can hear the differences. The Garmin should do slightly better in this comparison, simply because it's out of the waterproof housing, and the GoPro, being in a waterproof housing all the time, still has membranes over the microphones. Okay, so now I'm going to pan from right to left, and again I'm on a gimbal and I'm with Hypersmooth. Now in this test we're going to simply jog up the hill like we did last time. Again, that's with an actual gimbal and with the Hypersmooth. And I just want to talk a little bit about my final thoughts on the new GoPro Hero7 Black. And I gotta say, GoPro has finally made the camera that I think they always wanted to make. They finally got it right with the features and the qualities that I think the average Joe, like myself, is looking for. We're looking for a camera, like I said earlier, you can just take out and capture the footage you want without having to spending hours in post to create transitions and smooth effects and color grading and all the things that a lot of videographers do. So my overall thoughts on the GoPro Hero7 Black are that it's a great action camera. It's definitely going to replace my Garmin Virb Ultra 30. And I think overall, it's got fantastic color representation. I think the audio is a massive improvement over any other camera I've seen that's waterproof out of the box. It's easy to use. It can be a little flaky sometimes, but I've yet to find a small form factor camera that doesn't have glitches. And some of that will get better as firmware is released. But over the last 15 days, I've shot a lot of content, including this video, and I've overall been hugely impressed. So if you're in a market for an action camera, a camera that you could take travel vlogging, a camera that you can take to shoot your action sports, a camera you can take and just do anything with, family events, kids sporting events, the GoPro Hero 7 is probably the camera for you, especially the black. Now the black has features that the white and silver don't, and to me, for $399, I've yet to find a small form factor camera that can produce the quality that this camera can. So not only am I excited about this new GoPro, I can't wait to see how my footage gets better and the things I'm able to use this GoPro for. So this was just an average Joe telling you what he thought about the GoPro Hero 7 Black and maybe why you should buy one. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel. And if you want to see my latest videos, go ahead and click that bell so you'll get notified whenever I shoot a new video. And if you have any comments, please leave them down below. I'd love to hear what you think. In the description, I'm going to leave some must-have accessories, like this Shorty that I'm shooting this on now. It's a little handle that's a built-in tripod. Kind of pricey at $39, but a really must-have accessory if you're on the go with this camera. Thanks for watching.